Welcome back to History in Motion, proudly brought to you by Midas.
Before the break, I ask you a quick question. Which track was previously on the side of Phakisa Freeway? It was the Goldfields Grand Prix second.
A week before the Phakisa race meeting, the Lotus Register held their annual track day and driver training at Swartkorps. This was a day where members of the Lotus Register could bring their Lotuses of all shapes and sizes to the track and have some fun. A record number of cars arrived on the day, and it was fabulous to see such a great variety of Lotuses. Some of the more experienced drivers in the category were on hand to give some advice and pointers to the newer members, both on and off the track. It proved to be a great opportunity for those who are usually on the pit wall or at home to get a chance to experience the thrill of what it's like to race a Lotus, as passenger rides were part of the fun on the day. It was a terrific day, superbly organized by the team, and a big thank you to the Lotus Register for all their hard work and enthusiasm in promoting this wonderful sport. As it is racing, no day would be complete without some silverware, and there were trophies awarded for the most remarkable lap and the best student of the day. A great day, thoroughly enjoyed by all. Wet weather, open cars. It sounds like the thrills and spills of the Sabat Lotus Challenge are about to begin. But Jeff Gable had some problems leading into the race.
We blew a motor in the first session. Fortunately, we had a spare. It took most of the day to put it in. Popped it in, got out for the last session, made a large knocking noise. We weren't sure we were even going to get to the grid this morning, but qualifying went really well. We expect at this time of year to be cold at Phakisa. We don't expect to be standing in the rain. So we had a first wet qualifying in a while. Our car was on rails, so much fun, 6 seconds faster than second place in B. I couldn't be happier. I'm so pleased for Gareth Taylor, who worked so hard on the car. I'm pleased for Glowvest Properties, one of the sponsors. Fantastic morning so far, but wet and a little bit cold.
I was quickest in qualifying, but it was not nice. It's very wet, very dangerous, very slippery. Actually not really looking forward to the race. It's going to be interesting.
My second name is Sideways, so I think we'll have to look at it, how it's going to go, but it's very slippery and it's going to be interesting, especially the start, because as you pull away, it's all the mist from the cars in front of you. It comes up and you can't see anything from the front, so you have to be careful not to drive in any cars in the front.
Let's take a look at the grid for the Sabat Lotus Challenge. Heading up the field is Glenton Rebello, with Clippy's Cricker joining him on the front row. Jeff Gable and Neil Delata fill up the second row. Etienne Stradom and James Forbes fill up row 4, with Gerda Smith the fastest Class L qualifier in 12th place. 29 cars made it onto the grid for Heat 1 of the Sabat Lotus Challenge. The lights go out and they're off. Clippy's Cricker and Glenton Rebello on the front row both had wet weather tyres and were able to press home their advantage off the start. Neil Delata made a terrific start from 4th on the grid, edging out Jeff Gable on the way to turn 1. Great shots from the iron on board of Neil Delata, and you can really see how tricky the conditions are out on the track, with the constant rain making it very difficult to get any traction. Wet weather specialist Jeff Gable may have had a slow start, but he is putting his skills to good use as he sails past the tornado marketing Lotus of Delata. Delata's really having to work hard to keep his car on the track and prevent it from sliding off in these wet conditions. With a field of 29 cars, you can bet there will be some interesting tales to tell after this race. Behind Delata, Glenn Clark is pushing hard and has a look down the inside of the boot, but isn't quite close enough. Into turn 1, and Ben Knights leads a string of Lotuses through the bend, with Rob Mordaunt pursuing. Round the bend, and Mark Futcher's recovering after an off and rejoins the track behind Tim Clamp. Oh no, it looks like Quinton Roux has slid off the track and got his Lotus stuck in the gravel. It doesn't look like he'll be going anywhere for the rest of the race. Andre Darfel has a slight excursion. The rain really is making the track more like a skating rink for the drivers. John Glover leads James Forbes and Lauren Miller into Geelskop, and this looks to be a great battle in the making. Forbes has a look down the inside of Glover and inches ahead. Glover fights back going into the final bend and takes the inside line and regains his position. Down the start-finish straight, they're a nose to tail, and Lauren Miller has the best seat in the house, albeit a rather soggy one. on board now with Alex Roberts, and you can really see just how wet the track is and all the standing water as they enter turn 9. Roberts taking a wide line going into the bend. That will be because Tim Clamp was coming down the inside and he passes Roberts. Juan du Toit and Ben Knight are pushing hard as they enter the boot. Knight takes a look down the inside of du Toit, but doesn't quite have enough speed to make it stick. Coming out Buncini 2 and onto the back straight, Johan now leads Sean Hewitt and Clive Wilmot down the 413-metre long straight. Sean Hewitt having a look down the inside of Nell, heading into 9, but thinks better of it. Into Gielskorp, and Hewitt has another go at Nell. Nell will really be feeling the pressure now. Glenton Rebello in the experimental turbo Opel-powered Lotus powers past Neil McLeod. Carrying too much speed into the next bend, he oversteers and spins off the track, losing him time to clip his cricher and a bit of pride. He collects himself together and makes his way back onto the track. Tim Clamp in the Mixtec CC Lotus leads the Conta technology machine of Alex Roberts and the HAD Holdings Lotus of Andre Darfel out of turn 9 and towards Gielskorp. Roberts just having to snatch the car back there as the back stepped out. This will cost him time, which he cannot afford as Darfel is ready to pounce. Darfel seizes the moment and steers his way past Roberts. Johan Nell is coming under pressure from Sean Hewitt, with Clive Wilmot waiting for either of them to make a mistake. Hewitt makes his move down the inside of Nell, and the pair are side by side as they exit the bend. Nell keeps his foot flat and edges ahead of Hewitt. Coming into the boot, and Hewitt has another go down the inside of Nell. Wilmot does a bit of farming behind them as he tries to keep up. Hewitt tries again, but Nell is keeping calm under pressure. The pair pass John Glover on the side of the track. It looks like he has had an off and is out of the race. It really is not easy to keep the cars on the black stuff in such tricky conditions. You can see here just how hard the drivers have to work to keep the cars balanced and on the right lines. Johan Nell leads the battle between Sean Hewitt and Clive Wilmot down the start-finish straight. Into turn 1, and Wilmot has the inside line and the advantage. Hewitt carries more speed and sticks with him as they exit the bend. But Wilmot has a problem, spins on the exit, and this allows Hewitt to cruise past. Wilmot regains his composure and sets off again, having lost a few places. Ahead of Alex Roberts, we see Tim Clamp hit a bit of water, spinning his car off the track and hitting the wall. This looks like the end of his race. Yeah, Tim Clamp has done some major damage to his car, leaving some parts in the middle of the track. Sean Allen is pulling his car over to the side of the track. He must have picked up some mechanical problems and decides to park it. Such a pity, so close to the end. Glenton Rebello wins Heat 1 with a comfortable margin of over 6 seconds from Clippy's Cricker. Coming home in 4th place and second in Class B is Neil Delata. Glenn Clark having a spin on the final bend, and he ends up losing a place to Etienne Stradom, who sneaks past him. Clark gets going again and manages to come over the line in 6th place. Lauren Muller managed to hold off James Forbes by 4/10 of a second on the line. Great racing on this wet Phakisa track. Confirmation of the results for the Sabat Lotus Challenge. Clippy's Cricket took Class A victory, with Jeff Gable taking Class B by 37 seconds from Neil Delata. Andre Duplessis won Class L, and Mark Futcher took Class C honours.
We had a wonderful race. I managed to start in front of Sean, tried to keep him out. He was definitely a little bit quicker than me. Counted the laps coming down. The last lap going onto the back straight, he managed to pass me. Very, very close. We actually both ran wide, went back to 3rd gear at exactly the same time, but he just managed to beat me.
It was a close battle. Some clean racing out of Johan. It was very nice dice between the two of us. Thankfully, I got him just on the last lap.
It was an exciting race. Rain in the beginning was really coming down quite hard. We had an epic first few laps. James and I had a really good race. He was diving me from all sorts of angles. I then got away from James and I was slowly inching up on Etienne. Etienne made a slight mistake out of turn 4 and I thought I had him and I got a bit overexcited, got on the power bit early out of 5 and kissed the wall. So it was it. Bent wishbone and tyre and a bit of pride.
Coming up after the break on the Midas Historic Tour, we have more thrilling racing from the Sabat Lotus Challenge.